I remember how to push the buttons. Yes. Oh, I hit it again. I wanted to see if I was good at it, so I thought if I hit it twice. There it is. Oh, the pod is back. Peak Cinema. The Peak Cinema Pod. For those of you who have heard us before, I'm Tim. That's Rhino over there on the other side of my computer screen, and that is the lovely Lauren. Lauren Nelson Kane. Lo, I'll start with you. So good to see you. And we'll talk to the audience in a second, fill everybody in. But first, how you doing? Good to see you.
I'm doing good. I'm so happy to be back and doing this. Especially, I really pushed for just in time for spooky season, obviously.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to get back into it. And we watched our movie last night, and I watched a documentary about it today, and I have lots to say.
Can't wait. Rhino, good to see you, my friend. We haven't been around each other. Yeah, we haven't been around each other much the last few months, but that's just the way it rolls in the summer. But it's nice to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you got that tin can thing kind of going too that Lauren did. So make sure you're in the right headphone. I can hear you, but it just seems like we're having a Zoom call.
Come back to me in a minute.
I'll go back to you in a minute. For those of you who remember us, we did this podcast on my old podcast feed, which used to be housed at Podbean. And we'll try to get you the archive of that on this new site as time comes around. We'll try to get all of those old episodes back to you. But Ryan, Lauren, and I sat down for probably, I think we did around 80 movie reviews or 70, 80 movie reviews, something like that. And those are all on our old site. Like I said, we have the master recordings of all of those. And at some point, I'm going to be firing them over to Ryan and Lauren on a big disc, and they will be uploading it to the new site so that you have a chance to catch up on all of our old stuff. But we're back. We're on a new feed. You're going to find this on Apple Podcasts. You're going to find this on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You are going to be able to find Peak Cinema on its own channel. Rhino has been working to build this on our own channel for this Peak Cinema podcast. So that's going to be really nice to see all of that. So we're super glad for the old audience that's coming back to hear us. And if you're a new audience member, welcome. Welcome aboard. Good to have you.
Does that sound better? Are we okay now?
It sounds better. It's a little hot, but it sounds fine, Rhino. I think you sound great. I mean,
because I'm not little technical stuff here. Sorry, this is the first time in 5 months we're recording anything here.
No kidding. Yeah, just a little hot. Just a little hot is all. Let's try to bring the heat down.
We're still touching things up here as we go on the podcast.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Just a little hot. But
okay.
You keep working on it. You're doing
off.
great. Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great. It's beautiful. Love it. I love on-air production meetings. They're my favorite thing in the history of the world. If we can have them, that's great. Tonight, we make the return on Peak Cinema with a classic. This is something that I know Lauren has been wanting to watch. I love this movie. This, to me, is maybe top 5 greatest movie ever made. I know that they have this in the top 100. It's in every AFI or every top 100 countdown of movies. For me, this is top 5. Like, I don't believe... I think this is a Pantheon classic movie. We are watching the 1975 classic Jaws. The original, not Jaws the Revenge or Jaws 3D, which I know Lauren's a huge fan of. No, just the regular old Jaws with Roy Scheider, Richard Dreyfuss, Robert Shaw, directed by a young Steven Spielberg. Lauren, have you seen this movie before?
Oh yeah. Yes.
So, this is not one of those you've never, this is a classic that you've seen.
Yeah. I can't remember the first time I watched it, but I do remember being relatively young, and oh my God, it scared the living shit out of me. For those of you who can't tell by the way we're speaking, we're from Minnesota, and there are lots of lakes around here.
Are you saying that people have? Can you hear an accent in the way we talk?
I think other people can. Yes.
Yeah,
probably.
Damn it, you're probably right.
It's not Fargo over here by any means, but I think that there's something going on. But there, you go to the lake in the summer, any lake. There's a lake within 20 minutes of wherever you're standing. And I watched this young enough to be scared, old enough to know that that was an irrational fear, but definitely young enough to be a little freaked out to go any depth beyond where I could stand in the lake. A fantastic movie. Like one of those movies that you watch and you think to yourself, man, I haven't seen that in a while. It can't possibly hold up. And it just does. It's kind of insane how good it is and how well it holds up since 1975. The scares involved are so well crafted. I mean, I think we tend to think of this movie as like, this is the summer blockbuster, which is true.
It's really the origin of the summer blockbuster, right? I mean,
Yeah.
It kind of starts here.
Yes, absolutely. But it's also kind of in a very Hitchcockian way influenced basically every horror movie that came after it. Particularly monster movies. It's the method of like not seeing the monster pretty much stems from Jaws. And I think every filmmaker who makes a horror movie uses either Jaws or Psycho as an influence. It's one of the greatest.
Yeah, I feel like movies have tried to recapture this, and even Jaws themselves, the people who made Jaws 2 and 3 and all these tried to recapture that magic, and it's just not. It's this perfect mixture of everything, right? From like a pretty good script that's not super over the top. It doesn't have too many words, right? It's not a ton of dialogue. It's the right mix of great acting, maybe a touch of animosity and anger between Shaw and Dreyfuss to actually make that Quint Hooper chemistry happen, because they actually don't like each other on set. So the fact that it really plays well for the character, like it's perfect for the two on set. And then to get this mechanical shark that never works, and to basically like, well, the only way we're going to make this work is if we just hide the shark and just anticipate that it's there until it's ready, turns out to be a stroke of genius. And it creates this perfect movie that, again, it takes a million things to happen to make a perfect movie. And it's perfect because of all of these things that kind of happen to lead us up to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm watching this documentary today, and they're kind of talking about, the origin of the shark and all of the choices that they're making. And it's just like, this movie is really, it's like everything that could go wrong went wrong, and it somehow benefited the film in every possible way. Like, this could have been a massive disaster. This could have been the end of Steven Spielberg's career. And it's one of the most iconic films ever made. It's just, it's lightning in a bottle. And I don't think that you can really replicate it, which is part of why the sequels don't work. The premise is also just kind of why the sequels don't work. What are you talking about? Like, there's more sharks in Amity and they're all related to this shark or something? Like, what are we talking about?
Two kind of works because you still have Roy Scheider, and like he's still like Brody is sort of like he makes this work. But yeah, beyond 2, and 2 is not great. It's not even close to 1, but 2 is passable. The rest of them are not even close. Like the rest are so bad. I mean, the only thing that's good about Jaws: The Revenge for Michael Caine is it bought his mansion. He basically has made that very clear. He's like, I love Jaws: The Revenge. It bought my house.
Good for him. Get that bag, Michael Caine.
Yeah, that was basically it. A get that bag movie for Michael Caine. There it is. We maybe have to. We'll come up with a new award at the end of the pod, the Get That Bag Award for an actor who was just there for the check. Rhino, now you're the sheltered one of our group.
Correct.
Have you seen this film prior to yesterday?
I've not. This was the first watch for me.
First watch for you. And what did you think? First glance, first blush, what'd you think?
It's a good movie. I see how it's a classic, right? I understand why people like it a lot. I liked it. I don't think it's I don't think it's the best movie I've ever seen, but I did like it. I think that the characters to me are better than the story, which I think is indicative of older movies. That the story is sometimes you let them get away with a little more than you do with more modern movies, where I think we're a little bit more, society's a little more well-read, we're a little more educated, we expect a little more from the scriptwriter, characters and plot. I think the plot here is a little harebrained. There's some stuff here that I'm like, I don't think that happens in real life. But you can suspend your disbelief because I think that I think that it's good character work. I like it a lot.
I'd say I kind of disagree. I think there's some things that are so on the nose, it's freaking scary, especially even now, like 50 years later, I'm sitting there going, yep. Yeah, I buy that. Greed over safety. I totally buy that. There are lots of things that I can go to.
This is something that Lauren and I talked about with watching the movie last night, is that the villain of the movie is not the shark. The shark is just a shark. The villain of the movie is the failure of local bureaucracy.
Yeah, exactly. The bumpkin small town leadership. And this is the thing about small towns. Maybe this is why, small towns struggle sometimes, is they're so dependent on stuff, right? They're so dependent on whether or not there's a good summer. I think of these up north towns in Minnesota that are dependent on good weather and tourism and, we got to have X, Y, and Z or else. And when you have that as your kind of as the basis for your economy, I just think like you become a little bit more of a slave to that versus like, I don't know, a caring government worker that cares about your citizens.
Caring government workers. Where are they?
I have no idea. No, they don't exist.
I'll say we have a story like this in Minnesota this year of like how nature can influence a season. Like was it March that we had that huge storm up in Bemidji that had knocked down like 18,000 acres of trees? Like that's their whole economy up there. But I can't imagine that they're obviously it's not an ongoing thing. Like there's not a shark swimming around up there, up a Red Lake, but might be. I don't know. I've never been there.
Who could say?
That'd be something, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think that we do live this on a semi-regular basis around here, where nature does impact tourism. It does impact the economy. You just kind of hope that you have good people in charge.
You just think about these movies where they place them in these really idyllic, these perfect towns. And you just think to yourself, man, wouldn't it be nice to live in Amity? It just feels like the perfect place. An island, you take a ferry to the mainland. Everything about it is just perfect, right? Except then you start to kind of get to the underbelly. Yeah, you're right. It's perfect when there aren't man-eating sharks in the water. It's perfect. Short of that, it's maybe not perfect.
Well, and that's like, so Ryan and I lived in Duluth when I was going to college, and that's what that whole city is like. It's a tourist town from May through October, and then basically the whole town shuts down, and then it's just a bunch of college kids stuck up there in the middle of winter with no skills and crappy jobs. And it's like, if you can't make up that money in the summer and in the fall, then you're screwed. And so part of me understands, a large part of me understands where this mayor is coming from, as much of a dick as he is. You know that any shutdown of your biggest resource is going to cost not just you, the government, or you as a person, your entire community so much money. on top of that, though, like in addition to that, though, like the faster that if you can close this down, the faster you can get rid of this problem, the less money you're going to lose. And so it's like, I don't understand that kind of thinking. Like, what do you think is going to happen to tourism if people die at your beach? Which they have, and they do throughout the entire film. What is going to happen to your economy if you get known as the town that has a man-eating shark in it?
It really does set the tone in those opening like 10 minutes when you get that billboard with the you know, that says the Amity, you know, 4th of July regatta thing. And, you know, you get that great cinematography of, yes, you get this billboard, which doesn't have to be called upon. It's just there. And then that shot of the big ferry coming in with all of the tourists. And you're just like, oh, it's just a brilliant shot. Cause it's just like, that's it, man. This is not good. Excess and thousands of people, you just know it's not going to end well as soon as you see it. You're just like, ugh, here we go. And it's a great piece of filmmaking, I think.
Well, that's what the whole movie does. I think the best is dread. That's what it's great at. There are like one or two jump scares. It's not a traditional horror film, I think, in the way that we would think it is, but the dread is astronomical throughout the entire film. I mean, like the entire back half of the movie is hunting for the shark, and just like, you know, something bad is going to happen. The boat is kind of slowly sinking the majority of the time. They're in the middle of absolutely nowhere. As soon as Quint destroys the fucking phone, so that
we're going to spend time on Quint. It's going to be. I can go for an hour on Quint. Quint is maybe the greatest, one of the 10 greatest characters in the history of movies. And Hooper's awesome. Like Matt Hooper is this. I can't wait to get to these characters. So we should, maybe we'll make our way to that. But so yes, we totally have set the scene here. It's this small town. It's basically like going to Mackinac Island. If you haven't been up there in the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, go hang out there. Take the ferry over to the island and just hang out on the island. And you'll see very quickly, like, it is dependent on these ferries showing up with tourists every day. That's how the town works. If there's none of that, it doesn't happen. It's pretty, but it's a great place to go. Have you ever been, by the way? Have you ever been to Mackinac?
No, honestly, no.
No cars.
I don't go places I can't bring my car.
Yeah, there's no cars. Yeah. You got to ride on horseback, or horses, or carriage, buggies.
Are you making that shit up?
No, buggies. It's all horses. There's no cars.
What am I, Amish?
Where is it?
What? No, I'm telling you, the rest of the town is super normal. Like, it's, you know, that's why you stay on the main drag. So that there's a big grand hotel, and there's lots of other little hotels like on the drag. Stay on the main drag. Don't do what I did and be like 2 miles off, because it's like a 30-minute horse ride. But stay on the main drag, and it's great. There's restaurants and shops, and it's awesome. It's like the best
place to
place.
Park your horse.
You know, you don't ride. You just take the little buggy taxi wherever you want to go, or you can just walk it. It's fine. It's really great. Lauren, I love it.
I will take your word for it. This does sound fake, but I will take your word
for it. It's a real place. It actually exists. It's a real town. Look it up. Anyway, let's talk characters then. So we have really there's a lot of little characters, but it's really about 3 men. We talk the chief, Martin Brody, and we'll get into him, Roy Scheider's character. Matt Hooper, played by Richard Dreyfuss, who's young, but he doesn't look young. He's like the oldest young guy you've ever seen in the history of a movie. What was he, like 20-something when he did this movie? He looks like he's 45. And then you have Quint, Robert Shaw, who's actually nearing kind of the end of his life, you know, at the end of this. He doesn't know that. Of course, we don't know that. But this is one of his last roles, and one of his last really great roles. So Robert Shaw plays the role of Quint, the shark catcher, the fisherman, and they're all 3 very, very unique. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with Brody?
Yeah, let's start with Brody.
Let's start with Brody. Brody, you can't make it up, because he's the chief of police on an island, and he's afraid of the water. Like, how in the hell does that happen?
I mean, that's just like, I would love to sit here and intellectualize his choices. I mean, it's alluded to later in the film that like he left New York because he couldn't do anything in New York. He felt like, you know, there was so much crime in New York, especially New York in the 70s, that it just felt like it was like Sisyphusian even working there. But he can make a difference here in Amity. And it's like, on an island, man, are there not other small towns?
Yeah, you couldn't go find a place in upstate New York or something like that, where if it's just about pushing the pencil, like if it's just about kind of hanging on till retirement, you know, what are we trying to accomplish? You don't go to the island unless you love the water, right?
One would think. So I'd love to intellectualize that choice, but that feels like maybe stupid. That feels maybe dumb. Other than this choice, I do think that Brody is like the only person in the film who is really understands the gravity of all the viewpoints.
Ryan's just typing up a storm. Sorry, Ryan, knock the typing off for Christ's sake.
I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ. I mean, okay.
What are you typing about?
My God, you're writing a goddamn novel. Are you like a court stenographer for everything Lauren says?
Yes,
like we gotta get a transcript down for everything that Lauren is saying. I better make sure we get all the words in.
That's the story we're rolling with.
Jesus. I mean, seriously.
Nah, he's on Blue Sky.
Writing a goddamn novel over here. It's like, what are you doing?
But no, I think Brody is, I mean, there's a reason that he's the main character of the film, right? I think that he doesn't agree with the mayor, obviously very strongly, and pushes back on him at several moments, but also understands like, A, that's the system he's working inside of. And B, he kind of gets it. Like if we shut down the beach, we will lose money. You're not wrong about that. Which is why he keeps trying to go through all of these like serious business avenues to try to, which is why he gets Hooper, why they eventually hire Quint. I think he really understands the gravity of what's happening. And is maybe the only good person in the whole movie.
It's interesting too, because, you know, for a guy who is the chief of police, even if it's in a small town, he is risk averse. Like if you watch the film, how much does he talk about safety and careful with that? And, you know, he says to his son, what does his son cut his hand in the first few minutes? And he's like, he makes a big deal about, oh, you got to be safe. I haven't fixed that, or I haven't gone to that swing set, or whatever what it was, right? And then he's got the line to the boaters. He's yelling at the boaters about like, hey, do you got enough people on that? There's too many people on the boat. He's so risk averse. And even down to when he's about ready to get on the boat to go kill the shark, he looks at his wife and says, don't use the fireplace. I haven't. It's like, what are we talking about? He's so like worried about safety, and he's so worried about risk aversion. And it's just all things that, I mean, it's nice to be when you're the chief of police, but also almost feels like it's too much. Like almost like there's more there.
He very much carries the weight of the world on his shoulders. And maybe some of that is earned, deserved. He is the sheriff. And some of that is he puts on himself. The whole like, oh, I didn't fix the swings yet. I haven't fixed the fireplace yet. Those are things he puts on himself. His wife knows that. His kids know that, you know? And maybe it's important for him to voice those fears every now and again, but I view him as a very anxious person. And again, because he's so anxious, he's probably the only person in the movie who's actually like doing what they're supposed to. It feels like, you know, sometimes I look at Ryan and I'm like, you don't have enough anxiety. Like you should have more. There should be more there. And That's how I feel about basically everybody in this movie. Is like, wow, more of you need to be like on, nearing taking Lexapro. Like,
Brody looks like he should have been on meds. Like, if they made this movie in 2025, Brody'd be taking like a pill cocktail in the morning of Lexapro and Wellbutrin and anything else you can possibly take. Just have it in a nice little plastic cup for him in the morning, and you just put it down with a Red Bull or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Which is, maybe why I relate to him a little more than the other characters. But
he's doing that cold back in the 70s. 1975, he's not on anti-anxiety meds. He's not on any kind of antidepressant. Probably should be, but he's not.
The kids call that raw dogging.
He's raw dogging it. Yes. He's raw dogging.
I hate this.
It's all 6'7", am I right? It's totally no cap, dead ass. I mean, it's on God.
He's raw dogging for real on God.
He's raw dogging on God. Dead ass.
Oh my God.
Lauren's over here standing on business, though.
Standing on business. 6'7",
It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business.
Hey, you know what? Let's get locked in. Let's stay with it and get back. Let's get locked in.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm geeking over here.
Yeah, don't crash out. Ryan, you're crashing out. Stop it.
I'm not yet, but if you keep telling me I'm crashing out or talking about my typing,
then I'm going to crash out. Yeah, well, yeah. It's a crying eye of Mary. Anyway.
Is this better down here? I can't see my levels at all, so I'm trying to...
You know what? You're fine.
You're really loud.
You're loud, but you're great. It's just your mic is hot and you're hot. What are you going to do about it? We're going to do it.
I can't adjust on the fly here because I can't see anything.
Okay, well, listen, you're beautiful. It's fine. Stop being all worked up about it. It's fine. All right, anyway. So that we agree, Brody's anxious, right? We agree that it's a lot there with him. Like I've always just found this character, like, I think this is obviously Scheider's best work. I mean, he did things like French Connection and other movies like that, but I think this is like so far like his best stuff. I don't think he gets enough credit for being as good as he is in this movie. But he's like the perfect hero character because he's like a man's man. He's not a muscle bound superhero type. This is how they made the good guys back in the 70s. Gene Hackman and Roy Scheider, and those are the guys. This is pre-Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal, ass-kicking guys. These are just like regular dudes. That's Roy Scheider's character. It's Martin Brody.
And that's what I like about him. He's not like kind of a toxically masculine asshole or something, which he's a cop, so that character could easily veer in that direction, but I don't think he ever plays him that way.
Hey, he's almost a puss, for lack of a better term. Like, he's kind of a puss.
I think he just, like we said earlier, I think he just has the weight of the world on his shoulders. So a lot of his thoughts are internal. And a lot of the acting he does is in his kind of like micro facial reactions. And the one of the scenes that I love the most with him is Totally Silent, where he is sitting at the dinner table and like rubbing his face and obviously trying to figure out in his head how he's going to handle this situation. And his kid is copying everything that he does.
Yeah, he sticks his tongue out, right? That's the scene, right, where he's doing that. And it's just like, what the frick is he doing? But yeah, the kid's copying him, and it's a great scene. And
it's a fantastic scene, I think. And it's one of those scenes where it's like, oh, this is who this character is. Maybe that's not a scene that moves the plot forward necessarily, but it does help us understand who this character is. He is a good dad. He cares deeply about his family. He cares about this community. And he's kind of a stoic guy, but that doesn't mean that he lacks for empathy and emotion. And I think
yeah, go ahead. Finish that.
I was just going to say, I think that's a really important scene for that.
Yeah, it's the great line in that scene where he looks at his son and says, "Give me a kiss." And he's like, "Why?" Because I need it. And it's like it doesn't need to be a long diatribe, but it's just in that moment you see it on his face, as you talked about, right? He looks so spent, and he's just like, because I need it. It's almost like I need I need to get a recalibration here. It's such a great line, and it's a great dad to son moment. It's something like that's very, very good. Let's talk Hooper, the marine biologist Richard Dreyfuss. Obviously, Dreyfuss goes on to do lots of films beyond this, and he was obviously in things like American Graffiti and things like that before that. But what do you think of Matt Hooper, Lauren and Ryan? What do you think of Matt Hooper?
I mean,
I think the word I would use to describe him is cunty.
Stop it.
He is Slay. He is Mother.
No, stop it. No, make it stop.
Like that pose he has, like sitting on the rock at the beach, as the cop looks at him, and the mayor walks away, and he just kind of looks back, and I swear to God, in that moment, you just hear like the RuPaul theme. It's like Drag Race, just. Everything he says is like work, and like it's just this is the gayest movie I've ever seen. Just first off the rip here, it's not, but it's the gayest movie I've ever seen.
Straight up, there is a connection. There is a connection between Brody and Hooper on several occasions. It's like the eye contact that they're making is intimate.
They definitely seem like it's almost like Brody sees everything he wants to be as a human being in Matt Hooper. Yeah. Like he sees this rich, young, flies by the seat of his pants, super smart, fearless, can do anything, can go anywhere. He is untethered. And as much as he is that family guy that we just talked about, there's a whole lot of Matt Hooper that is there to like. You like a lot of Matt Hooper.
I think, if I'm being 100% honest here, when he brought those 2 bottles of wine over for dinner before they shipped out to go find Bruce, I saw that and went, I know enough people in a throuple to know what that looks like.
The wine bottles were huge.
Those were pretty big. You bring those to those are special occasion wine bottles.
The wife is laughing a little too hard at his jokes.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Even wife wants a piece of Matt Hooper. I mean, these are two, you get a vibe that the Brodies haven't been intimate in a long time. Like you just get the vibe that not much is going on in the Brody house.
But she's like, okay, sidebar, like a real thing. not a joke thing. She's beautiful.
I'm not joking.
Yeah. I know you're not joking.
She's a fetching gal for 1975. She's fetching.
She's absolutely beautiful. And what I love about their relationship is that it feels, you joke that they like, they're not together in that sense.
They feel like roommates at this stage. They're in the roommate stage of their marriage. But
they do feel like they have a real connection. They do feel like they have a real relationship. Like I know these people, that's also just sidebar. That's something that I like about, I think, the whole movie is that I feel like so often when you watch movies, particularly movies that are a little bit older, one of the things that I always come away with is, I mean, I suppose this is a good movie, but like none of those people feel real.
Yeah.
Everyone in this movie feels like a real person.
Oh, completely agree.
Maybe mildly besides Quint. But like,
I think Quint is real though. He's a little goofy, but you're right. He is weird.
I think Hooper feels very real. I think Brody and Hooper admire something about each other. I think that Brody admires that Hooper knows what's going on. He and has all the information and can definitively say this, that, or the other thing, or make choices, something that I think Brody would really love to do in this situation or many others, and is really more just the the delegate for getting things done. And I think Hooper likes the kind of, I think Hooper likes those qualities about Brody, that he has to get things done and he's very goal oriented, and that he's very empathetic, and that he cares about this community. And I think they are a very good team. They play off each other very well. And so when you add Quint, then that throws some things off.
It's interesting to watch because, like, I think Quint and Brody are meant to be similar ages in the film. You get the vibe that they're both like in their 40s, like maybe mid to upper 40s, which, by the way, the 40s looks freaking old in 1975. Just like Hooper's in his 20s and he looks like he's 45, like he was just in the woods for 20 years and came out. Anyway, but it's interesting to watch how like Brody and Quint feel two very different ways about Hooper, right? Because you have, I think with Brody, he looks at Hooper, as you said, as I think as just like, yeah, young and smart and state of the art and embracing the new like science and technology and modernism and all of these things. That there's a little bit of Brody that is kind of envious and jealous of that. Not jealous, but envious. Like he's like, you know what? I wish I could do that. And it's just like we do that a lot, right? When I'm young or when I'm old and I look at these like young high school football players and basketball players, you just become a little envious. Like, Jesus, what it wouldn't give to be freaking 18 and 6'3" and could jump out of the gym. And you just become envious of that, right? On the flip side, you get somebody like Quint who hates modern convention, where it's the old, Ryan and I argue about this with baseball, right? Because Ryan's a big stat nerd guy, big geek guy, right? Big modern stat nerd, calculators, just pocket protectors, shoot a million threes, that kind of thing. And it clashes with like old school thinking, right? Because the old school guy's like, I grew up with it this way and I don't want it to change. Right. And it's the same thing you have with like even modern politics argues this way. Right. Why do we have the divide that we do? Because we have guys in their 60s and 70s who wish it was 1974, who wish it was 1984. And like, why can't we just do those things?
And let's be really clear about what that means, because I want to point out something about this movie that I pointed out to Lauren early on. I think in the first scene, I can't tell who are the men and who are the women in that first scene.
1975, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't tell who are the guys and who are the girls. I think that's why the trans thing scares so many people who are older than that.
Everyone in 1975 looks like Chris Pine.
We all look the same.
Or everybody's hair is long, and
we've all got like angular features.
Yep. From the back, you'd think Hooper was a woman. The way he stands, correct. Got the long hair.
Then he turns around and he's just gay. The thing about it is, I think that it scares people because that was a time to challenge tradition. We already did that. And now we're challenging that tradition. And it's like, well, we already went through that. Why do we have to challenge what we did? Do you think what we did wasn't good enough?
I think there's something to that, right? And I think that's where we're at. Because you think about Quint. He's on the USS Indianapolis, World War II stuff, like tough, this is real stuff, right? And then you have Brody, who's this everyman, this like this modern, this representation of what like a mid-40s man should be. Responsible, smart, did all the right things, had kids, got married, did all that. And then you have Hooper, who's young, who's like, this is how I'm doing it. I'm going completely the other way. I'm going to probably have sex with lots of people and I'm going to do science stuff and I'm going to have a lot of money and I'm not going to have any kids and screw all that.
You guys get much more of a...
Is it because we're men, Lauren, that we're picking this stuff up? Do you not see this?
The vibe you guys get from Hooper is very generous.
You don't see any of that with Hooper? You don't think so?
No, I don't. I think that, well, okay, I get the sense that like he's young.
You don't think he's like cocky and arrogant at times?
No, he is.
Yeah.
He is for sure. But this idea that he's some kind of, for lack of a better term, I'm about to sound like 100 years old, some kind of like Lothario. I don't get that vibe.
I didn't say Lothario. I just said he's like fancy. He's just dude. He's got Lauren. I know that you're the resident feminist, but you got to admit, a young, smart guy with lots of money. Do you think he's not getting like more tail than a toilet seat? Like, what do you think is happening?
I think he's a nerd. I think
nerd tail in 1975. You know nerd tail.
I can't speak for women in 1975, but I'm gonna go ahead and pretend like no, that is not the vibe. That.
So you're saying Matt Hooper is a no in your world? Like if Matt Hooper was in front of you at Centennial High School many years ago, you wouldn't have said yes?
I want to be really clear.
I'm a different person.
Yeah.
I am a nerd.
I don't think he's, chasing, getting more tail than a toilet seat, to put it in Tim's terms.
More ass than a rental car. I mean, yeah, he's getting it.
He's dancing to a lot of ABBA.
He's closeted. He's not out. He's not out. You can't be out in 1975. You can't be out.
He's drinking a lot of wine.
Upscale men drink wine.
I'm not going to say that is not there. And I think a lot of that is obviously unintentional. But no, the Hooper gives off the vibe of someone who's relatively early in their career and totally arrogant because he thinks he knows everything. And I really don't get the vibe that like he's super secure in his masculinity because he's a bit of a dork. Not a bit of a dork. He is a dork.
Hooper's a great character.
26-year-old scientist. He's a dork.
Yeah. Hooper is awesome though. What a great character.
He is.
Like easily like he drives the bus in good sections of this film. Like, and it's because he's there that Quint becomes amazing. We should talk about Quint because now Quint, like where does Quint rank for you in the pantheon of characters? Is he a character that you love, hate, or kind of love to hate? What do you think of Quint?
Oh, God. I guess I kind of love to hate him because he is just so unlikable. And that's by design, I don't hate him in the same way that Hooper obviously hates him, but he is
Richard Dreyfuss really hated him too.
Yeah. But he's just so and it's also hard to come into this movie clean and come to that character clean because it's been memed to death. Him as a character has been memed to death. So I think like it's not exactly like I was around in 1975 to watch this movie. So there's also like a cultural consciousness to it too of like he is his own trope. So it's hard to have an opinion of him that is 100% positive or 100% negative. He's just kind of an icon.
He's such a big part of this film. And I mean, he's not in it for like the first, 30 some odd minutes or 40. I mean, he's really an act 2 feature of this film, but he is so like his character is phenomenal. Robert Shaw obviously plays the character and he's got, first of all, he's like grizzled. He's old. He's got this voice and he talks like this. And he is so like, he's like Hooper in the sense that he's kind of cocky and he's got his own level of hubris. And like, I think they just clash from Jump Street because one is that old school instinctual, this is how I've been doing it for years. I don't need sonar to find the fish. I can do it with my own instincts, right? Versus the guy who's like, oh, I got all these million gadgets. That's how I'm going to go find the fish. It reminds you of like old people up on the lake in the summertime when you got the hot shot who shows up on his pontoon boat with his 20,000 gadgets that show you where the fish are versus the one old guy out in like an old rowboat sitting in the corner believing that he knows where all the honey holes are. I mean, it's just kind of that's what I feel like these two guys are.
Since 1975.
Yep, I
was
know where
looking at
all
Ham's
the fish
finger in this
are.
lake by the time you were born.
Well, it's like we like to talk about like boomers versus millennials or something like right now, but that's just like literally like people of a certain age versus people of a certain age. That transcends generation. That's just, it's always like that. People in their like 50s or 60s versus people in their like 20s and 30s. That's just it. And that's what I get from the two of them. And what I like about it is that that like touch, push and pull relationship is not like one-sided. Like the movie is not one-sided about it. And one of the funnier scenes I think is Quint like chugs a beer.
Yep.
Just chugs it, crushes
smashes the can in his hand. Yep.
And then Hooper chugs his water out of his styrofoam cup and smashes the styrofoam cup. That's maybe one of the funnier scenes in the entire
It's the great
movie.
example of the two of them, right? How they just
Yes.
are living under two different codes and they're trying to be both manly in this moment. And it's great. Quint is another guy who I think, just like most guys who I think are probably World War II vets, probably in need of therapy and like could have lived in better mental health situations for those guys, because there is deep-seated trauma and deep-seated fear in Quint that really doesn't reveal itself until we get towards the end of the movie, where he is hammering on the throttle with that ship, even though he knows his ship can't take it. He knows the engine's going to blow. He is in such a hurry to get out of there that he is just going to ram it and hope to God it makes it, because he just cannot stand another second on the lake. And you can just tell it's just fear masked in this hubris that is like super compelling. Like it's interesting to watch Quint, because really deep down there's so much like unhatched trauma that is there. It's real, and you get a hint of it during the very famous speech, but I mean it really shows itself in that moment.
Well, and I think that's like the movie made him a more interesting character than the book. From what I know of the book, I have not read the book.
I have not read the book.
From what I know about the book is that he's a little bit more of a Captain Ahab character, and he does still have this like singular focus, but I don't think the USS Indianapolis story is in the book. So
I think you're right. Yeah, I don't think it is.
And I also think in the book he drowns. He isn't eaten. So that to me is a little bit more like an Ahab figure, where this is the shark is his white whale. This puts a different spin on it in that he has this trauma and he has like a personal anger towards all sharks everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not doing the kinds of things on this boat that would actually keep people safe, or they are wise choices to safely capture this shark and go home. He's making choices, but out of complete anger. No one is going to help him do this. He has to do this.
Yep.
He has to be the one to kill this shark because it has wronged him in some way.
Destroys the radio and all that stuff, right?
Yes. Yeah. All these really stupid choices that get him killed and could get the other two killed easily.
This is how afraid he is. At the end of when he blows up his engine in his boat towards the end of the movie, he goes to Hooper and says, this cage and this shot, this thing that you have, all of these things that he laughed at when he was boarding the boat with all of this, joked about it and picked on him and teased him. He now looks to him because he is out of answers. That great look on his face when the shark dumps underwater with all the barrels, and they look at each other and they're looking around. They can't see him on the sea. And he says, have you ever seen anything like this? He just shakes his head with no words and just utters no. Like it's the first time in the movie where Quint doesn't look like he has an answer. Where like he is fresh out of answers, does not know what to do, is lost, and
he's
terrified, absolutely terrified in that moment, and it's awesome. It's such a great scene. Shaw is so good in these last like I mean, just throwing 105 for like 35 minutes in that movie.
Well, all of them are. I mean, they're all just so. I mean, this is. I'm watching this Jaws documentary for the 50th anniversary, and Steven Spielberg had made some kind of point of, I don't think this as a shark movie. I think of this as a people movie. The people are really what make it what it is, and I think the big three, Brody, Hooper, Quint, their relationship with each other, their relationship with the town, all three of them so wildly fleshed out for the kind of minimal screen time and dialogue that they get. And all three of them just acting their asses off. I mean, they make this movie what it is.
From the minute they get on the boat, like if I pick this up and it's on TBS one night or it's on TNT, if they're on the boat, I'm in the rest of the way. Like it's instantaneous for me. I don't know how many times I've seen this movie, but I can't tell you, it's probably 50 times more from the boat scene on than any other time in the movie. Because if I catch it at the boat scene, I'm like, sorry. So it's 45 minutes of my life I have to give it. I'm in the rest of the way. So sorry, we're gonna put every other plan on hold because I have to watch the rest of this. It's that good. It's that good. The second act might be like the best second act of any movie that you're ever gonna see. Favorite scenes. Let's do favorite scenes. What are your favorite scenes here?
I mean, I've already mentioned it's so underrated, and it's such a minimal scene, but the scene where Brody is sitting at the dinner table and his kid is copying
It's a great scene.
It's a beautiful scene for all the reasons I already said, so I'm not going to reiterate it now. And then obviously the USS Indianapolis speech.
The whole scene when they're down there drinking and they're showing scars and they're, it's like, oh, I got this one, Mary Ellen Moffat, she broke my heart, and they're drunk and they're having a great time and they're singing. And then you get this long speech about the USS Indianapolis and, we all just jump in the water and blah, 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 shark take the rest. And he goes, and he also says, that's why I would never put on a life jacket again. It's such a really good scene, and it just changes the whole tenor of this scene that was fun and laughing, and it became really, really serious and so well acted, so well done.
So I also think that moment, that speech, is what makes his death so sad. Not even like a what's the word I'm looking for? It's not contrived. They're not playing a bunch of weeping music over it and doing the slow motion. We got the monologue 40 minutes before about this experience he had with his friend who was just kind of bobbing up and down his upper half, and the bottom had been taken by the sharks, and that 800 men lost their lives in that water. And you hear the pain in his voice, and to see him fall into the mouth of the shark is like, it was coming for you eventually.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It was like
the white whale came for you, and he dragged you under.
It's very it's kind of got this poetic feel to it. Like it had to end that way for
Hemingway.
Quint. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good.
Well, that is something that they deliberately changed in the script, because I believe the USS Indianapolis scene was not in the original script. It's not in the original book. It's something that they added much later. And once they added that, they made the decision that he couldn't drown. That doesn't have the same weight to it.
Yeah. He had to get eaten. Had to.
Yeah.
Had to, for sure. And it's a gruesome scene, but it's great. It's a great moment it's a crazy moment in the film. I agree with you on those favorite scenes. Ryan, do you have any other scenes you want to add?
I love the Indianapolis speech in general. I think that as a World War II buff, I really like it. I also really like the scene of, I'm so bad with the names in this movie. I know Hooper, the police officer, the chief of police,
Brody. Martin Brody.
Thank you. The scene of him sitting at the beach watching everybody play.
Yeah.
And every little thing in the water of him sitting or standing. Everybody's bringing problems to him. And he's just ignoring everybody all day. All he thinks about is this shark, because he found that body. and he knows what it is, and they've told him to lie, and it's this idea that he is lying to the entire public is just tearing him apart the entire movie. And does he come across as a puss on the boat? Yeah, but he's out there in public service, and every bit of him hates the water.
Yeah, he's afraid, totally afraid of the water.
And I don't think it's really a he's not a puss. I told Lauren this, you can tell in this era of movies, the guys that they write as like military veterans.
Yeah.
And this is a guy who's seen war. He probably went to Korea. Like, he's not World War II, but he looks like and acts like a guy who has seen battle. And you put him out on a boat, and this guy's terrified, but he has to do this because he keeps thinking about his kid making those faces at the dinner table, and it's just consuming him, this danger. So that scene of him at the beach is like, okay, this is a guy who can't put stuff down until it's done. Like, it's going to kill him if he doesn't get this shark, because he wants to make sure this doesn't happen to anybody else. And that's that exclamation point is on my other favorite scene, which is the scene where Alex Kintner's mom walks up to him.
You hit me with it. That was on my list, 100%.
Seals that feeling of, oh, he's never going to let this go.
It's great. That scene is the one, because the mom slaps him and says, "How dare you? You knew," and because again, he's Mr. Safety, like he's Mr. concerned about everything, right? Mr. Risk averse. And I think he bears this responsibility. He takes this really, really personally. And it's like, that's the moment where he says, we're going to do this going forward. Like, we are killing the shark. I'm going on the water. I'm going to duck. I got this fear. I'm going to take a million things of Dramamine, and I'm going out there and we're going to do this. It's almost like he feels like he has to. Like it's now not just an issue of paying Quint. Not only is it paying Quint, but it's, I have to go there too, because I have to see it for myself, and I have to do this.
Yeah,
it's like the call to action in the hero's journey. It's classic that, right?
Yeah, it starts with when they catch that tiger shark.
Yep.
And I'm looking at Hooper measuring the mouth, and I said to Lauren, "And that's not the shark. I mean, obviously it's not the shark. We've got a whole bunch of movie left, but like, this town's going to go insane if he stands up and says, this is not the shark that committed this attack." And you can see the conflict in Martin Brody, that it's like, man, I don't know how to process this. I've never been told not to do my job before. And here you have this horrible mayor and this horrible city council and the greed of the city. And he's going, I've never been here before.
Yeah.
This is totally new for me. And I think it would be new for a lot of us. I think it's a really hard place to be.
Yeah. And what is he going to say to Alex Kintner's mom? Oh, well, the mayor told me to keep it quiet. Like, this is.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the mayor told him that or not. He's going to no, it's like, I got to eat that. Like, that's on me. Right.
I think because he's thinking, well, I can just blame this on somebody else. And maybe that's true, but this woman's child is still dead, and it's still my responsibility.
Yeah.
And even beyond that, a good lesson here is, even if you can throw it on somebody else, and even if you know that you were doing the right thing and you were told to stop, one, you still stopped. And two, snitches get stitches. And we don't have snitches in this society. We're not going to do that. You solve the problem yourself. I mean, that's kind of the message of Brody in this movie, I think. But we're not going to snitch on the mayor, even though the mayor probably deserves to be snitched on here. And the result is the mayor never gets any accountability for his decision, which ultimately got those people killed.
Yeah, that part really angers me, because I understand the choices that Brody is making to put this on his shoulders as the chief of police. But I don't want these people to vote for that motherfucker ever again.
Yeah.
He encouraged people to go in the water.
Yeah, not a good mayor. Who, if this was modern day, could you imagine the negative ads that they would run in Amity? It's just like,
Oh yeah.
do you want to be with Larry blah, blah, blah is running for re-election? There's blood in the water.
I'm sure he'd win because he'd be like, I'm going to make your groceries cheaper and then charge you more for
he would
groceries.
still
and then
win.
You're still a shark.
He would still win because he would say something about, some scary minority group, and he would win. He would win. Now, come on now. We gotta stop. No more.
Sorry.
I want to point out that I'm the one being quiet right now.
That's true. I want to point out, too, that another scene for me that I'm going to add, because I think what makes this movie great is the fact that they don't reveal the shark until late, right?
Yeah.
So you get all of these little mini jump scares where you think like, oh, it's going to be right here. Oh, it's going to be right here. Like the where they go to Ben Gardner's boat, where Hooper dives with Brody. And they get in the water, and Hooper's underneath in the water, and he's swimming around. He finds the boat, and he finds Ben Gardner's severed head. It's like, it's a great moment because you think, the shark's coming right now. This is the end of Hooper. And it's not. It's instead, you get this other jump scare, which just further builds the tension. It's a great, it furthers the action. It moves things along without giving you the big reveal. And they save that reveal for the perfect moment, which is my other favorite scene of just, you're going to need a bigger boat, where he's chumming the water, and all of a sudden you just see the full face of this shark for the first time all movie. And he jumps. Brody's face when he jumps back, I mean, you couldn't do it any better than that. It's perfect. And that slow walk back to Quint of, you're going to need a bigger boat, is like, it's like the movie's on at that moment. Like, it's on right now because now we've seen the shark and it is on.
Well, and it couldn't happen to, like a worse person on that boat. And so he jumps back and he has like the cigarette basically falling out of his mouth, which I love.
I would light up 7 cigarettes in a row and put them all in my mouth if I saw a shark like that.
Well, what I'm always interested in, what was that scene supposed to look like? Because we're going to need a bigger boat is famously an improvised line.
Yep.
What the fuck did that scene look like without that line? Because that is perfect.
It's the perfect line.
Isn't a written line is actually crazy. That is perfect. Everything about that scene is Ryan laughed. Ryan laughed when that happened.
It's hilarious.
First of all,
it's a great line delivery. You know what it is? He's sitting there, he's all confident. He's finally, cool on the boat. He's got
come on here and show some of this shit, huh? And then just the immediate
he sees the
fear.
shark.
Oh my god!
And then all of the fear comes rushing back, and he kind of backs into the wheelhouse, and he goes, "You're gonna need a bigger boat."
Yeah.
it's not a definitive statement. It's just the first thing he thought.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
What I love is Quint doesn't say a word. I love that Quint just stands up and walks out to the deck where it's not like a, what are you saying? No need for extra dialogue. It's almost like in that moment, the eyes, the face, the one line told Quint everything he needed to know about the boat and about the shark. He went out and then he saw the shark come back around, and all of a sudden he's 25 feet. He's 3 tons. Holy shit. Here we go. It's going to be massive. It's a great scene.
Just an incredible scene, a top tier scene. I will say going back to the Ben Gardner head scene.
Yeah.
Ryan was like also kind of watching football while we were watching this movie.
We're watching it on Sunday night. I'm just glancing at the Packers-Cowboys score. Give me a break.
Whatever.
It's a great game.
So you're watching football, and like 5 minutes before I know this is supposed to happen, I'm like, you're missing stuff. You have to pay attention. So I knew it was going, like, because if I would have said something right before it happened, you would not have been scared. And so I just, what's so great about that scene is like, it goes on for a while. He's underwater for like kind of a long time.
Yeah, you just feel like he's definitely getting eaten here. No doubt about it.
Yeah, yes. And so the scariest possible thing happens, which is that he doesn't get eaten, but that he finds a dead body. And the music cue and everything there is so fantastic. And I was reading trivia about this movie. So I guess in initial screenings, this particular scene didn't get a big reaction from the audience, but then the "we're going to need a bigger boat" scene screams. So Steven Spielberg was like, well, I want a bigger reaction earlier in the movie. So they went and they reshot this scene like 4 or 5 times so that it was just so perfect. And people were like jumping, screaming, throwing popcorn in the seats. But then later in the movie, they're not as scared because they've already had an initial jump scare. There's something here about like, there's like a larger point about how this movie handles scares, how it manufactures its jump scares, and how movies influenced by it tweak it ever so differently. Because so much of a good jump scare, a really good scare in a horror movie, is so much about dread, and it's about expectation, and it's about timing. And this movie really only has those 2 big jump scares, and they're just so perfectly crafted. But because they had one, the second one isn't as effective of a scare necessarily.
And it's almost like they decided at that point, it's a scary movie, but it doesn't need to be like, we're not going to do a campy, scary movie. Like we're just going to make a great suspense movie. Suspense / horror / action / all this kind of movie. And if it ends up being a little bit scary, great. We accomplished our goal.
Yeah.
And you find your way by creating the thing you wanted to create.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's Steven Spielberg is someone who's proven himself to be very good at that, of like making horror movies that are really about the people and about the infrastructure in which the horror movie takes place. And the scares will come, but the scares are not the reason you're watching, Jaws or Jurassic Park or something like that,
Favorite lines in the movie. Obviously, you're going to need a bigger boat. I think somewhere in the list has to be farewell and adieu to your fair Spanish ladies. That's probably my favorite part, where he looks at Hooper. You go in the water. Shark's in the water. Our shark. Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish. It's the best. It's such a great delivery of the line. It's so good. That's a great line for me. Quint has a ton of great lines. He just delivers. He's a line a minute in the back half of the film for sure.
Yeah.
Any other favorite lines? Do you have any other favorite lines besides those 2?
I think that's hard because actually, like, my favorite moments in the movie are all like dialogueless.
You're right. Oh yeah, you're right. Good call.
I love Brody has no lines throughout the entire movie, and his facial expressions say volumes, and those are my favorite moments.
Even the scene where he's trying to kill the shark at the end, where he's trying to get up with the gun and he's throwing the tank in his mouth and he's like, smile, you son of a bitch, and that's the line. But it's like he's talking to himself in like muttering like utterances. Yeah. They're not like, he's not like making these big grandiose lines. It's just show me the tank. All right, he's just kind of, he's doing like what a normal person does. They're just kind of mumbling to themselves, trying to like center themselves. It's a very great moment at the end there. But you're right. It's not a dialogue driven film. It has great dialogue in it, but it also has moments like 70s movies 60s and 70s movies. Sometimes they would get too long, but they were really good at like letting things breathe a little bit. Like they didn't need to overwhelm you with music or snap cuts and quickly moving shots to different things. They would hold a shot for a second, for 2 seconds, and let something breathe. And that's I think why the classics are still better than a lot of the new movies, because like new directors just don't have that kind of vision and don't have that kind of patience. And they just want to play with all the gadgets and the toys. And it's like, just tell a good story, man. Figure it out. Well,
the editing is so different now. Like I was just watching The First Omen, which is not the First Omen film, the movie The First Omen, which came out last year or the year before, I can't remember, which is phenomenal, by the way. And part of the reason that it's so good is that, you know, when they make like remakes of these kinds of movies, horror movies in particular, they're making it like a modern horror movie. And it's like, well, that's, you know, I want to watch The Omen, right? The first Omen does that thing where it is shot like a movie from the 70s. They hang on to B-roll footage just a little bit too long. And it really enhances the atmosphere of the film that you're watching. I just think, I mean, there's like a bigger conversation to be had about people's general attention spans and what, you know, CEOs of these massive media conglomerates think will sell. But yeah, I think that for this movie, those kinds of shots really work because the dread is what's important. Because we see the shark so little, the anticipation of seeing the shark do something is horrifying. Like I forgot whether or not Brody's kid survived in the pond because I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, because he's in Jaws 2.
And
because he needs to be in Jaws 2. That's why it's very important.
It's very important that he's in Jaws 2.
He's a critical part in Jaws 2. What can I say?
But I couldn't remember if he had survived. So I'm sitting there like, oh my God, his son is in there. Oh my God, his son is in there. And I'm like freaking out. And it's like very few people actually die in this movie.
No, very few. Which is why when we get to our awards, it's going to be we got basically 3 choices. That's all we have.
Yeah. But it's the dread of what could happen, which is what's so effective. I just love it. It's so good.
All right. Should we do awards? Or do you have any other favorite lines or anything you want to hit on? We've been going for an hour and 12. So.
We can move on to awards.
Let's do awards. As you know, for all the people who are new to the pod, at the end of the movie, we give out some awards. We at the end of our review, we throw out some different stuff. We have some new awards and some same awards that have stayed. But let's throw it out. First award. This is a brand new one. This is the Ryan Award. Ryan, for those of you who are not familiar with the pod, a connoisseur of all things food and drink, I think, right? A superior palate, I would argue. I would put your palate up there.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I would put your palate up there as somebody who appreciates fine. You're not afraid to try different cuisines from different parts of the world. You're not afraid to try to pick apart the very specific ingredients in a dish. It's very nice. It's one of your big skills, I think.
Oh, I appreciate that. I do really enjoy food. I don't know how much else to say about that. I love food.
Right. So this is the Ryan Award for best use of food or drink in a film. Lauren, who wins the Ryan Award for this first for Jaws?
My nominee for the Ryan Award is the pint glass full of red wine.
Yep, that was mine right there. You got to let that breathe a minute. Nah.
Hooper comes over with a fucking Franzia-sized bottle of wine.
Like they just won the World Cup and they're going to... or they won a Formula One race and they're going to fire it at the podium.
Massive bottle of wine. He pours himself a small glass. He hands it to Brody. Brody pours it inside of it's got like a 16-ounce beer glass.
It's the epitome. It's a highball plus maybe more. Yes. Like it is. It's like a way too highball of wine that he's having.
When I'm talking about like the micro expressions that he has throughout the movie, this is what I'm talking about. He doesn't say one word in that entire dinner, but he just pours himself a pint glass full of red wine. Hilarious.
And he's drunk at the end because he's the one at the end of that scene. He's like, I'm the chief of police. I can do whatever I want. Let's just go over and do that.
Let's just go over. We'll cut the shark open and it'll be fine.
Which, by the way, leads into a scene that I just want to touch on real quick before we move too far.
Oh, my God.
They go cut this shark open and Hooper's just in his 501s.
Yeah.
He's just ruining his jeans with shark guts.
They're drunk, man.
This is a man he's in a Canadian tuxedo.
It's a very good Canadian tuxedo as well, by the way.
Lauren's Uncle Dave would be jealous.
No kidding.
I think that's the right uncle.
That is the right uncle. Yes, I mean you could have picked any of them.
I saw him once at a wedding.
It seems like chicks pull off the Canadian tuxedo way better than dudes do. Like I feel like chicks can go with the jean jacket and the jeans and make it work. It's kind of hot actually, but when a dude does it, it just looks ridiculous. I don't know how. It's one of them weird things.
I want to be really clear here that the statement that you just made is because you're straight. I don't know how to tell you this.
No, but I'm saying like dudes can't pull that look off. They can't do it. I've never once said to like,
they can.
No. If Matthew McConaughey rolled in here, I'd be like, Matt, you're gonna have to throw on something different. This isn't gonna work.
It's all about how you style the denim, I do believe.
If I was Rhino, if I was wingmanning a guy for like if we were going out and it was my friend, and my friend rolled, if you came to me, say you weren't married to Lauren earmuffs. Now I'm just kidding. If you weren't married to Lauren and you said, I got to get on the prowl tonight, Tim, help me out. If you rolled in a Canadian tuxedo, you rolled in jean jacket and jeans, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. You're not wearing that. Change clothes immediately.
First of all, that's also because I'm built like a 5-pound bag of flour stuffed with 10 pounds of flour. And the jeans would never look good.
Who let John Candy from Canadian Bacon in here? Anyway.
I look like somebody broke into the pie shop and ate all the pies.
God damn it.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do this, Lauren. Keep going. I'm sorry.
I think you can style a Canadian tuxedo, but it's all about the cut and the style. And that being said, there is too much denim.
Lot going on
in this film.
A lot of denim Dan going on.
No too much denim.
Yeah, the 70s were all about denim, though. You got to go. In fact, like I said,
in the middle of July,
nobody wears jeans anymore at the high school. I don't know if you know this. Where I teach, the kids don't wear jeans. I mean, like you'll see, like if there's 3,000 kids in the building, you might see a couple hundred pairs of jeans a day. There's more leggings and sweatpants than there are anything else going on in the world today. Let's go back to let's get jeans. At least now look formal almost. Somebody comes in wearing jeans. I'm like, what's the occasion? Like, what is our church? I didn't know we were doing it.
I hate jeans. So
both of you guys are incorrect. You're incorrect.
Children.
Jeans are great.
Jeans are
no, especially with the gals. Listen.
Were great.
I will say this to the ladies on the prowl this weekend. Nothing better than a gal in jeans, man. There's just nothing better in the world.
Tim, I have 35-inch thighs.
I don't care about your big ass thighs. I'm not talking about your jeans. I'm saying that, listen.
You're gonna catch me dead in jeans. You say let's bring back wearing jeans. You're never
gonna
see me in jeans.
What if I make jeans part of the speech uniform this year?
You're gonna be disappointed.
I'm gonna force your ass into some jeans. That's it. Get the DXL. Get it done.
Are you paying for those jeans? Because
I didn't say that. You make way more money than I do now. Big shot. No, I'm just kidding.
All I'm saying is you won't catch me dead in jeans unless I'm going to a funeral or something.
So you dress up for a funeral then, I see. Oh, I got to throw on a nice pair of jeans.
They're long pants and my khakis are packed away.
You're wearing jeans to a funeral, man?
No, hey, I don't dress up unless someone's getting married or buried, Lauren. You know the rules. Anyway.
And by dressing up, we mean jeans. To clarify.
Throw on a pair of jeans. So, in comparison to what the kids are wearing sweatpants and leggings every day. Jeans
I'm not comparing you.
Looks like a church outfit.
I'm not comparing you to the children.
No, the kid.
I'm comparing you.
The style. And I'm 44 now. Everybody under the age of 35 is a kid. Don't you understand how this works? Like, that's what happens.
Tim's out here. Tim wore jeans to school every day, as was the style at the time.
At the time. You just wore your few pairs of jeans that you had.
So did we, and I hated them. And I hated them then, and I hate them now. And if the kids don't want to wear jeans, more power to them. Ryan, when was the last time you actually saw me wearing my jeans?
At least 5 years ago.
Yeah. I have trousers.
See, the fact that you call them trousers, I almost want to disqualify you I just want to
That's what they
disqualify you.
are.
What are you, 58? You're older. Are you older than me all of a sudden?
I have trousers.
I have a pair of trousers that I like to wear.
I'm a 34-year-old woman and I know how to dress myself. And I have pants that are not jeans that I wear the majority of the time.
Very well. You can comment on this, by the way, in the pod. So yes, you're right. You're right. Ryan, he's fishing out shark guts wearing his jeans. Your thoughts. Continue, please. This all was there.
Yes, I think that's ridiculous. But I will say that my food moment in this movie is from the same scene that you're talking about, but only a moment later, when he looks at Brody's food left on his plate at the dinner table because Brody is so preoccupied he's not eating, and he just takes it and says, "Is anybody eating this?"
Yeah,
and begins eating. And Brody, midway through his first bite, just kind of waves his hand like, "Be my guest, I guess."
Well, he was deep into the wine at that point. He's not interested. Mm-hmm. When you pour a wine that big, that glass, you're not eating food. Like, you're not thinking about whatever Mrs. Brody prepared for dinner that night. You're clearly elsewhere in the thought process, I would say.
That man looked like he poured himself a Dr. Pepper in that pint
glass. That's exactly what he felt. It's just like a guy so casually pouring this wine. Like, oh, you brought me a Coke. Thanks very much. I'll just pour that here without ice. Thank you very much. Anyway.
Incredible.
Any other? Okay, next award. This is the let's call it the Quint Award for Best Death in a Film. We'll keep this way from now on. The Quint Award for Best Death. Is it Quint? Is it Chrissy? Or is it Alex? Who has the best death in this film? It's got to
be Quint. I think it's got to be Quint.
Chrissy's is the more iconic death, though.
It is. I think,
but I think that combined with the backstory and combined with the monologue, there's an emotional punch to
I get that
death that you really can't match.
I think you're right. I think it's Quint, but I think the Chrissy one deserves at least an honorable mention here, because I think in most films, an iconic opening death in a movie with a character that is super not consequential to the film. It's not like we heard from her again. Like, if you want to talk about 15 minutes of fame, hey, good run. Like, that's pretty impressive to be the opening death in Jaws and be that memorable. It's so good.
Well, and this again sets the tone for different kinds of horror movie cold opens going forward. I mean, like, you can't tell me that Drew Barrymore in Scream is not influenced by the beginning of this film.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Just opening with a death with an inconsequential character is kind of a trope at this point.
Sets a tone.
You
got to have somebody dispensable so that you can create stakes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's an absolutely iconic death. It's got to be up there with, like, Psycho, in terms of iconic moments in a film. So I'd be remiss if I didn't say anything about it. I do agree with Ryan, though, that Quint's death is more. It's got to be Quint.
Yep. Quint, the award's named after you. You got to get it the first time around. Yeah. That's just the way this goes. Next award, we kind of talked about best line, but let's just give it an official title. This is the Hold On to Your Butt Award for the best line of the film. Is it You're Gonna Need a Bigger Boat? Do we just agree that is the line of the film?
Absolutely.
Has to be. All right. There it is. We got that one. We're going to call this the score scale. On a scale of 1 to John Williams, where's the score of this movie rank?
I mean, this has to be S tier.
This is S tier, right? This is absolutely the top notch, right? This is as good as it gets.
It is John Williams.
Yep.
And is one of his best.
It's iconic as hell.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell Lauren that you can tell when John Williams has done a script by a few different things. Obviously, he has a clear style that he uses, but there are instruments that he uses the way that he uses them, like French horns and timpanis and flutes, that you can tell it's a John Williams score. And in the down moments when you're getting that kind of fluty, sort of dancey, sunny day thing, in the down moments, I love that contrast between that and his use of brass in the big moments, where I think that it's really underrated, because I think that you have, I would say that his competition at the top is Danny Elfman. For me, a lot of people would say Hans Zimmer, but I think it's Danny Elfman. And I think that the clear difference in style, because it's very small things, because they do similar things.
I think it's Harold Faltermeyer. You got Beverly Hills Cop, Fletch. I mean, those are just iconic things right there. Sorry, Ryan. I just wanted some love for Harold Faltermeyer. That's all I'm saying.
Well, when you force us to watch Fletch someday.
Don't say anything. I want him to sit in this for a minute.
I'm gonna stand by this. No cap. Like I'm gonna stand on this one.
I'm just gonna let you keep digging, my friend.
No cap. No cap. No cap. Oh my God. Somebody sorry. Get me my walker.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Next category. Sorry. Ryan, I'm sorry. Do you forgive me?
Yeah, it's fine. We're good.
Jesus. All right. Fair enough. Reboot or 10 episode Hulu series? Do you want either or none of those?
10 episode series.
Would you do a 10 episode Hulu series about this?
Yes. Yeah, I would.
I don't actually.
Really?
Yeah, I think I go reboot on this. I think if
you do like a modern reboot of this right now, would you do a modern reboot?
I think if you draw it out to 10 episodes, there's so much that you would have to do to build up to just get on the boat.
Yeah.
And
if you rebooted it, who do you cast?
See, that's hard because there's a vibe that you get of those guys that have seen war.
Yeah.
That I just don't know who under the age of 60 could do that today.
And I don't know, I don't know if you can get like an Iraq war veteran, no disrespect to them, but they don't talk the same.
It's just different, right?
They don't talk the same. It's just different. Yeah, it's just different.
Well, that doesn't mean that it has to take place now just because it's a reboot or a remake.
That's fair. Yeah, you could take it back there. You could do a period piece. You can go back to 1975 or whatever.
But the other problem then is, how do you cast a woman who doesn't have Instagram face?
Oh, that's
you
fair.
Don't.
That's fair. That's very fair.
How do you cast a man who doesn't have Instagram face?
Yeah,
it's getting
that too.
bad.
What are we going to do? We're going to put Matt Rife out there?
I'm with you. I don't know what we're going to do. Sebastian Stan, Carrie Fisher, or Selena Gomez, where do they fit in this movie? I would like to see maybe an all-woman cast. Flip it and go like Hooper is played by a woman, and then so is Brody, and so Quint shows up, this grizzled boat veteran who's a woman. Oh my God, I'd be here for that.
Carrie Fisher is Quint.
Fisher's Quint. Gomez is Hooper, and you need kind of like a grizzle, like a middle, like Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock as Brody. I think you could pull that off.
I love that. Straight up, though, I do think Sebastian Stan would make a good Brody.
I think he probably would. Yeah, Sebastian Stan probably make a good Brody. I'd give you that one.
Yeah, but then they'd probably cast like Timothy Chalamet as Hooper.
As Hooper? Oh boy. Yeah, then it would become.
That wouldn't be an incorrect choice to make. I think we're forgetting that he is actually a good actor because he is fucking
Jonah Hill. They cast Jonah Hill as
I know he's good. He's just in everything.
I know. When he really jumped the shark when he made that fucking Willy Wonka movie.
They should never make we're going to talk Willy Wonka at some point on this podcast. Never should make another Wonka movie ever.
Like, they're going to just start making one every
that's what it's going to be.
15 years.
I told the kids today, because I teach a new class called Impact of Media. I don't know if you know this, but I'm teaching a new class called Impact of Media this year. Which brand new class, no resources, but I'm learning how to do it. Thank you very much. I said, what are the odds that in 10 years a movie gets made with nothing but dead actors? Like they've just AI'd them. They have AI'd them all, and they're just like, hey, we're going to run back Willy Wonka. We're just going to like make a sequel with Gene Wilder in it.
Oh, I think that's very high.
I mean, it's legit, isn't it? Isn't that a legit possibility that you could do that?
I just heard a news story that there's like a quote unquote AI actress that agencies are trying to sign, which is that statement is insane to me. What do you mean? Sign what? Sign who?
I don't know.
What are you talking about? Yeah. I think if that doesn't happen in 10 years, then there will be another SAG strike. And I hope there is, because that's really fucking creepy and weird.
I don't know
we
how to
should
feel
never
about that.
accept
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you some creepy stuff off air because I saw some really crazy stuff on the Instagram this week, but we'll get to that later. That's another time. Who wins this movie? Is it Roy Scheider, the shark, or is it Steven Spielberg?
I think it's Steven Spielberg.
I think so too. Because if this goes wrong, we maybe don't get the butterfly effect of this movie to Steven Spielberg is pretty incredible. Like Roy Scheider doesn't really turn this into like, he doesn't become like Roy Scheider has a great career. Like I am not saying that he fell off, he did nothing, whatever. Had a great career, really solid film career and TV career. He never got to this spot again, really. Like never did. And Richard Dreyfuss went on to, some would argue, has better films, has different films as his apex mountain or his high point, whether it's Mr. Holland's Opus, which I think is overrated, but some people really like it. There's all kinds of Richard Dreyfuss films that people really like. Mm-hmm. Robert Shaw, some people point to The Sting, some people point to the fact that he was dead 3 years after this movie was made. Kind of hard to call this an apex, but Spielberg is the butterfly effect because everything comes from this, right? From here, he makes a run in the 80s where he becomes the hottest director, maybe the greatest director we've seen in the last 30 years, 40 years, 50 years.
Yeah, I think Steven Spielberg is a name that is now synonymous with like good films, good directors, blockbuster films, blockbuster and Oscar-worthy films. And you don't get that without Jaws. And I'm watching this documentary about it and how just everything went wrong. They were over budget. They were over scheduled. People kept coming to the set and telling him that his career was fucking over. He was not there on the last day of principal photography because the last day was when they were blowing up the shark. And he was worried they would play a prank on him. So he was on a plane to Boston. He wasn't even there. He was like, just finish this goddamn movie, you guys. I just make sure it's done. And he was talking about how even for like 6 months after the movie was made, that he was like waking up and having panic attacks, that this would be it. He would never make another film. No one would ever trust him again. And so for it to go this well, not in spite of those problems, but because of those problems, is a canon event for all of us. This is his magnum opus, I mean, you could argue that maybe other movies that he's made are better, but this is
I would argue, I don't know if it's his magnum opus, but I do agree without this, we don't get to see the real, like the heights. We don't get to where we get to, down in the 80s when he's taking chances and he's doing things that other directors aren't doing. And he's got the ability to try new things and do all this. Without the success of this film, that doesn't happen. It's really a triumph for a young director to pull this kind of film off.
Absolutely.
And I would argue it's his, I kind of think it's his best work only because I believe this is one of the 5 greatest films ever made. It's the quintessential horror movie genre. Like the horror genre is trying to get to this, right? Like there's the standard. It's like, here's the standard. If you can get here, great. Nobody can get there. They're trying, they can't. And it's kind of, there's always those movies that set the tone in the genre. This is that tone. And to me, it's the best. It's his best work without question. It's amazing. Good pod, guys. We're back. Hour 30. We did it. Hey, listeners, you can find our home. We're going to have our new home feed. If you want to look on the channel, you can find it at rss.com. rss.com is where you can find the webpage, the homepage. But again, you're going to be able to find this podcast anywhere you get your podcasts. We want you to like it. We want you to subscribe. We want you to leave a comment. We want you to tell a friend. It's Peak Cinema, Lauren, Rhino, me, Tim. And we do hope that you check back. We'll have our catalog up. It'll take a little time. We will get our full catalog back up. I got to download it all and give it to Ryan so he can just hammer it one day onto the site. And we can get the full catalog up for you so that you can hear everything from Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, to No Country for Old Men, and everything in between. That would be fantastic. So until next time, for Ryan, for Lauren, this is Tim saying keep your head up, and we'll see you next time.